Hello, welcome back to the Random Wrestling Review Plays TEW2020. This is our local to global series, and thank you for joining us once more. If you've been enjoying the series up to this point, please give us a subscribe. It's a massive help. It really, really helps us, and it's great to have more people kind of joining us along on this journey. If I sound a little bit different today, that's because I'm in a different room than I usually am. I've got a slightly different microphone, and so things might be sounding a little bit different, but hopefully we can get through it with minimal fuss. Now, obviously, where we left the series last time around was we just did the first night of the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, where we had the first match, the first round matches of our tournament, all four of the first round matches, and today we've got the semi-final and the final coming up. Now let's have a look. I did want to check this roster because I brought some people in our last episode, and I know I did not switch them properly. So, for example, C.W. Anderson here, he's a heel, so that's actually fine. But Charlie Haas is working babyface in this company, so I'm going to prepare his turn, even though that will obviously be a massive letdown because he's literally just come into the company. So him turning heel straight away is going to go down poorly. I also didn't check Public Enemy, and what's funny is one of them is a babyface, which is great. The other one is a heel, which is not good. So again, what we're going to do is turn him babyface. Although that won't come into fruition during this show because obviously he and Rocket Rock are busy on this second day of the tournament. They aren't going to be around, which is why we brought them in really for that first round match. But actually, I think what I've been thinking about is potentially having it so that that's not all they do. So I was originally just going to have them in for as a guest appearance in the tag team tournament, but I think I've decided that what we're going to do instead is bring them back occasionally. We'll see what we do. I mean, the problem is that they are constantly busy on a Saturday, which is when we usually run our shows. But we can change that to Friday. To be honest, I don't think it will cause any problems. Let's just check actually if there's anybody else. See, look, every Friday will be fine, I think. Although Blitzkrieg's not available, but that's fine because we only do one show a month usually. So if we do Friday week 2, like that's not going to be a problem really ever. Certainly not at the moment. So yeah, I think we'll probably shift our shows to Fridays after this next show because it'd be great to use the Public Enemy again. And once I've realigned them to where they should be, we'll be in a good place. So anyway, let's not hang about. We hung about quite a lot in the last episode trying to find a tag team. So let's not hang about. Let's get straight to our next show. It is of course day 2 of the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, and we're going to start with putting in the opener, which will be the semi-final match, the only semi-final match we'll have actually, which is Shawn Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr. against Ed Moretti and Dave Batista. Now this is because, well, first of all, this is the only first round match because there was a draw on the first night between ECMO and Charlie Haas against James Storm and C.W. Anderson. We're going to try and keep this reasonably short, I think. And the winner here is going to be Shawn Stasiak. He's going to pin Dave Batista. Oh, yeah. He's going to beat Dave Batista. Let's work the crowd as well. I already did that one. Because what's going to happen here is it's going to be an outside interference finish on Dave Batista, where ECMO, who is in a feud with him, I believe. Let's just check that that's the case. Yeah, Dave Batista's down ECMO. ECMO is going to cost him the match. This is obviously all dating back to the fact that Batista and Michael Modest, who's no longer with us, of course, were the reason why Kibo's no longer in the company. So ECMO is going after Batista. So that's how Stasiak and Wilkins Jr. are going to make their way to the final. Now, I think we've created the summit. Yeah, we have. So we're also going to have the final, which is going to be the same team, and they are up against Bad Crew, Dog and Rose, who didn't form brilliantly in the last show. We'll see if they can go a little bit better this time. We'll make this 17 minutes. We'll see if we can reduce that time later because that might be good. Well, what's going to happen here is we're going to have Dog and Rose win. They're going to win the tournament. And what's going to happen is at some point there's going to be interference on Shawn Stasiak by a steal, and it is going to cause an injury. Can we put something in the booking which makes that clear? Doesn't look like it. I don't want it to be a stoppage finish. Effectively, it's going to mean that the attack by a steal is going to mean that in the middle of the match, Stasiak is stretched out and can no longer continue, and that's why then Wellington Wilkins Jr. is on his own with Bad Crew, and they beat him to take the tournament. So that's how that's going to go. Okay, well they're saying they're not fit enough. Let's just make it slow build. So Bruce Hart is telling me that Bad Crew have not got the stamina for it. He still doesn't think they've got the stamina for that. Let's take that down to 15 minutes. That may make a difference. No, does not. I'm just going to do it. I just don't care. We'll make it 16 minutes, and they'll just have to they'll just have to get through it. Hopefully they'll be able to. So I'm going to do an angle next, which is that so it's going to be James Storm and CW Anderson, and they're going to call out ECMO and Haas for a rematch. Now, I've got to think about this because I've just done the thing with Batista, haven't I, with ECMO, and I kind of I don't want them to sort of, I don't want it to be a case of why, for example, if I do what I'm going to do here, i.e., basically they're going to call out ECMO and Haas, and then ECMO is going to come out and say he's up for it, but he doesn't know if Charlie Haas is going to be up for it. This is how we're going to turn Charlie Haas. I mean, this is only to do it in the game, really, rather than to do anything, in the story. The story is that Charlie Haas came in as a babyface, so this is more about just um, adjusting what the game thinks Charlie Haas is. But if I do this, why wouldn't Batista come out and sort of attack ECMO in kind of like, yeah, in retaliation? So I'm just wondering whether I can do what I want to do here. Um, Maybe I won't do this. Maybe no. I'm gonna get rid of this. I think we'll get rid of this one because we have got quite a lot of wrestlers on the roster. I'm wondering whether or not I can. What storylines have we got here? So we've got this one, which obviously they had their match in the last show. Shawn Stasiak and Ace still fine, and that one fine. So we've covered those two off. So I just want something in the middle really for. I think I'm going to go for a 3 versus 3 here. We've got the wrestlers to do this, and we want to get the champion on the show. How many wrestlers have we got in the two? So we've got 8 matches in those, eight wrestlers in those. So yeah, this is right because we haven't got Public Enemy. So Blitzkrieg, Buddy Wayne, and Charlie Haas, I suppose, go up against James Storm, C.W. Anderson, and is it who is it? Is it who else have we got? Kid Chaos. We'll leave the other two because they're involved in they're involved in interfering in the other matches. We'll leave them out of this match just to make it. We could put Ace Steel in the. I'm tempted to put Ace Steel in this. Um, Ace Steel was with Kid Chaos in the tournament. Ace Steel's. I'm quite a stickler for things making sense as well in terms of the order that they happen. So what I mean is I don't like. What's this? I'm not working match with Kid Chaos under any circumstances. Or Blitzkrieg won't even fight with Kid Chaos. Okay, so that's fine. That makes things easy. I can put, luckily, I can put C.W. Anderson in this one. But what I'm saying is, I'm happy to to put Ace Steel in this match because he interferes in a match that comes later. But if I put Chemo in this, not Chemo, ECMO in this match, because he's already interfered in this match, surely Dave Batista, who he interferes against, would want to get revenge on him, and I don't want Batista to be involved. So that's the six-man tag match we're going to have: Blitzkrieg, Buddy Wayne, and Charlie Haas against James Storm, Ace Steel, and Kid Chaos. Not Kid Chaos. CW Anderson. We're going to have, who's going to win this one? That's a good question. Who's going to win this one? I'm tempted to give it to the heels, get them a victory, because I am still thinking about our ranking system too here, and I don't want to make it that. I think we're going to have Ace Steel win. I'm quite up on him, even though he's not been an amazing performance. It's just, I think, just the story with Shawn Stasiak kind of, yeah, kind of makes me feel like he's somebody who's important at the moment. So he's gonna be a winner. The loser will be, I think, Charlie. It's gonna have to be Charlie Haas here. We're also gonna do a turn in this one. He's gonna turn. I guess. See, this is a bit silly again, but this is what I was talking about earlier on about making Charlie Haas a babyface in this one. Officially with the game rather than the story. So I'm actually going to make this a longer match as well, because we've got and a storytelling match actually. Do I need to make it a slow build? No, I don't. And this one is a slow build, so that just takes up a bit more space. I'm going to need one angle I'm going to do is Dog and Rose. Who's going to know? We're going to have Bruce Hart up here, and he's going to officially announce Bad Crew's bye to the final. And that's as a consequence of the 20-minute time limit that happened on the previous show. Okay, and that one is going to go down here. And then we're going to have another angle, which will be Charlie Huff. And it's going to be, who was he with again? I can't remember. ECMO. No, we can't have ECMO. Can't use ECMO. I could use him in a thing there. I don't know. I've screwed myself over a little bit using ECMO as part of the tag team that drew in the last show. Because I basically want to do a rematch between them. That was the whole point of the 20-minute draw, to be honest, was to give them just to mean that they had to have a rematch. And I've kind of done myself out of that. I'm wondering whether I can do a singles match with ECMO and Kid Chaos to start the show. So if I remove the work the crowd thing from that allows me to do an opener, which is ECMO versus Kid Chaos. And ECMO can win. I'm looking for here, decisive win, and it can be a pinfall. No, I just want to check that they haven't had a match. Yeah, they have had a match, and it was in July. So I mean, again, it just feels like yeah, it feels like an unnecessary one. This I don't really, and I can't put Kid Chaos in the six-man tag either. I might just do it anyway because I've got time to fill and I need to fill it. Okay. So I guess we could do an angle with Bad Crew after this one where they celebrate. In fact, let's have Bruce Hart. Bruce Hart presents the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza trophy to Bad Crew. Let's do that, and we can bring this one down a little bit because this would only be like a few minutes. So Egmo and Kid Chaos are going to face each other in the opener. I'm not happy about it because we've not long done this match. In fact, we did it the previous month, and Egmo won it easily, and he's going to win this one easily. It is literally a time filler for this show. Everything's fine there, though. Johnny Grunge and Rocker Rock are not available. Hang on, are they available? Because if they are, that might change my thought process. Just have a look. I think they are. Yeah, Johnny Grunge and Rocker Rock are available to me. Okay, so maybe we make this an 8-person tag. We can't make it an 8-person tag team match because of the fact they don't like each other. But we could put them in. Oh, this is annoying me now. I'm going to change everything around. Apologies for this, guys. I thought we would get 2 shows out of this episode, but I'm starting to feel like that's not going to happen. So if I had, let me see, if I had Blitzkrieg, Buddy Wayne, and the Public Enemy, no, because I'd have to put Kid Chaos in there. Actually, not having Public Enemy might be for the best because I feel like I'm missing someone. Am I missing someone that I haven't considered for this show? So we've got all of those. I've got a list of the roster in front of me, and I'm going through them very quickly, and I'm just not seeing the person I'm missing from this show. I guess it's because we're not using. We are using a still. So why have we got more baby? It's because Bad Crew are heels and they're right. No, Stasiak and Wellington Wilkins Jr. are baby faces, sorry, and they're working 2 matches. That's why there's an imbalance between baby faces and heels here that are available. So I could do Public Enemy and Charlie Haas against Public Enemy and Charlie Haas against Kid Chaos, Ace Steel, and CW Anderson. Maybe Buddy Wayne versus James Storm. That might work. That's a bit different, isn't it? At least. So we're going to change things up a little bit. There's going to be no Blitzkrieg on this show. That's what that's going to mean. Um, we're going to have an angle before the match as well. Jesus, this is all over the place now. This is to turn Johnny Grunge because I think we said Johnny Grunge was a heel according to the game, and I need to make sure that that is changed. Let me just check that it was. Let me just check that it was Johnny Grunge that was in the wrong place. It is, yes. So now I can turn Johnny Grunge as well. This one is going to be before the 6-man tag. What are they going to do though? How are they going to hit? So they're going to come out and just, Public Enemy have a big old party uh, with the fans before the match. We don't need to make that very long. And that's going to turn Johnny Grunge, at least in the eye of the, I said, in the eyes of the game. We can reduce the timing on this now, and I think what I'm going to do here is um, bring out him and put in Kid Chaos now. Yes, that works for me. Charlie Haas is still booked to lose. Do we want to do that? I think I don't think we do. I think instead we're going to have the victor be Johnny Grunge. Let's get rid of Ace Steel. And the loser is going to now be Kid Chaos. So that's how that's going to end to sort that out. Now we're going to get rid of this, and instead we're going to book. Well, let's just delete the original booking. I'm going to bring this down because I like having angle match for some reason. I don't like 2 angles being next to each other for some strange reason. We're not going to have. Yeah, that's fine. So he officially announced Bad Crew's bye to the final. We're then going to have a singles match, which will be Buddy Wayne versus James Storm. Now, James Storm what's he done to this point? I know he had a match already, so I'm just trying to figure out what it was. So a New Dawn, he defeated Wellington Wilkins Jr. So he's going quite a big match here. Going to make it that place on the show. I think 12 minutes. What do I want to do? Am I going to start a feud between these two? I don't think so. Who's going to win it? I am. I put me in a place. Put myself in a place now where I don't know who's going to win this. Um, tricky. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This. I feel really bad. I wanted to make this a show which was really quick, and we were going to get through this in one episode, and we were going to then have another show as well. But I think that that's now gone by the wayside. It's taken me too long to book this damn show, and there's only 3 or 4 matches. Okay, I think let's make a decision. Come on. Let's give James Storm the win. Tainted win. In for finish. What else have we got down here? Could we do anything else? No, we cannot. Maybe have a tainted win and a flashball pinfall finish. He's willing to do it. So we've gone 76 minutes. So we've gone way more than we need to. And that's what we're doing. Is that going to... I'm worried that that's going to affect us in a way I don't want it to. You know what? I'm happy. We're going with this. Anyway, this is what's happening now. Let's change the name of that because that is not what it is anymore. So we've got Rock, Johnny Grunge, and Charlie Haas versus Kid Chaos, Ace Steel, and CW Anderson. That's the semi-final match. That's the singles match, and that's the main event for the tournament. Let's do this show finally. Just check book analysis one more time. That's all fine. Blitzkrieg's the only one who's not wrestling today. So do it. And we get a crowd of 67 people. It starts off the show with Bruce Hart announcing that Bad Crew have got a bye to the final because of the 20-minute time limit that took place where ECMO and Charlie Haas drew with James Storm and CW Anderson in the first round. This one got a segment rating of 16. Bruce Hart struggled when going off script, and he was also the road agent, and we know he's not a great road agent either. Then we had the semi-final of the tournament, won by Wellington Wilkins Jr. and Shawn Stasiak, when Stasiak pinned Dave Batista following interference from ECMO. So that continues the Batista and ECMO story. Stasiak was a 31, so he's performing really well. Wellington Wilkins only a 17, Batista a 23, and Moretti a 27. Wilkins Jr. was off his game, but a segment rating of 26. Not a bad match at all. Then we have Rock and Johnny Grunge's party, where they basically just party with the crowd. As you can see here, the hints at Johnny Grunge face turn completely bombed with the crowd. We're just going to take this on the chin. It's a complete disaster, but Johnny Grunge is a babyface, and the Public Enemy are now together as babyfaces. They then have a match. That segment rating, by the way, 25, not bad. They then have a match. Charlie Haas and Public Enemy defeat Kid Chaos, Ace Steel, and CW Anderson in 15:44 when Johnny Grunge pinned Chaos with a table bomb. During the match, we also had Charlie Haas turn on CW Anderson. So again, crowd are not happy with this, and they're going to be annoyed because too many of your recent turns have been shocks with little build-up behind them. The fans are becoming jaded. This turn has suffered as a result. Turn is complete disaster, but it's been completed. We've said we've taken them on the chin. I think ultimately the key for me is just be a bit more vigilant when I bring people in and make sure that they are aligned in the way I want them to be aligned. But there we go. Charlie Haas at 24, Johnny Grunge at 25, Rock 28. So the Public Enemy's performance is decent there. CW Anderson 22, Ace Steel 25, Kid Chaos on 19. A segment rating at 22. Then we get Buddy Wayne versus James Storm in the next match. James Storm wins by pinfall, illegally using the ropes for leverage, and we're saying that was also a kind of a roll-up type win. Segment rating at 25 between them two. Then we have the final of the tournament, and Bad Crew get the victory when Ace Steel runs in and attacks Stasiak, and the idea here is that he then gets taken away by a stretcher. Ace Steel's done such a bang-up job on attacking Stasiak, and then Bad Crew pin Wellington Wilkins Jr. To win the RWR Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza tournament. Shawn Stasiak carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, a 32 from him. He is looking really good at the moment. Wilkins Jr. got an 18. Rose and Dog still performing pretty poorly. Dog was exhausted by the end. Rose was tiring towards the end. The match was a little bit over. It was long anyway, given our audience. But a segment reign of 24 is not a disaster. This isn't a great angle to finish us off with, as Bruce Hart presents the trophy to Bad Crew, but they win and the tournament, and it's a segment rating of 12 to finish us off. So an overall rating of 24, so not a disaster in that respect, but just nothing really stood out, and we just had a lot of mess to clear up, to be honest, in this show. And I'm going to make a speech. I think Shawn Stasiak deserves the biggest plaudits because he was excellent throughout the show. I think Ed Moretti performed pretty well, so I'm going to give him a compliment on a good performance. I think also let's give James Storm a compliment as well. So Shawn Stasiak's fast becoming the MVP of the company, really. He's performing really, really well in his matches, and that's great to see. Now let's just see what those 2 nights have done for our size. Not much. We're still at 5. Still got the little bits of popularity in various other regions. And of course, we now have the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza won by Dog and Rose of Bad Crew in the first year. We'll obviously revisit this next year. Let's go to the end of the month then. After 2 events in 1 month, we're going to have to look at what that's done to our finances when we get to the end of the month, because obviously we're not taking a gamble, but we thought that there's a possibility we'd lose some money this month, which again is fine. We've got the space in our budget to do that. But we're obviously we're just pushing our boundaries a little bit, seeing what we can get away with in terms of just spending a little bit more money. And I think we used everybody on both shows. So we've also used 16 wrestlers on both those shows. So we will definitely have stretched our budget as compared to normal. But saying that, we were making quite a bit of profit before. So I don't expect us to have lost loads of money during August, but we almost certainly would have lost some. We've got to. I've got to re-update as well. The re-update. It's not a word. I've got to update the rankings as well, because there's loads of matches from the 2 nights that we've got to plug into the rankings and see how that impacts things. But I have done a little bit of thinking about this already, and I've already got a sort of idea for what we're going to do in the next show. So hopefully the next show won't take me as long to book, and we might get 2 shows in one episode of this series. One of those shows will definitely be the second anniversary show, which is due in September. So that's something to look forward to, and should be a bit special. We try and make it a bit more of a special event. We've also got the Public Enemy in now, so that makes a difference. So we'll see where we go with that. And yeah, a not unsuccessful couple of nights, the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza, as hard as it is to say. Now let's just have a look at this finance, because that will ultimately determine where we are. So there you go. We lost $1,000 last month, but I think that's fine. I think we can take that on the chin. Sponsors are up to 2,397. If I only ran one show, we would have spent over about 1,700 less than we did spend. So I could run a show with 16 wrestlers on it now and still make a profit. So I think, as I say, that's a pretty good test for us, and a good has allowed us to sort of just figure out whether or not that will work for us going forward. So that's really good. Lots of returns here. People returning to the business. Yeah, so One Man Gang, Ken Shamrock, Rick Rude. So this is interesting. Barry Windham. Why have they all made the decision to come back and make the decision to come back to the industry like at this specific time? I don't know. Maybe something to look at. I mean, we're not a big company. We probably aren't going to be looking at those guys. But okay. Well, that's all we've got time for today. We've just about reached the half an hour limit. But thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you've enjoyed what we've done, give us a like, give us a subscribe, get involved. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.